Hello everyone, this is a video that's going to show you how to start your research paper for my class. Today is research day 1. So get used to going to the assignment, which is going to be where I'll put the links. Final research paper right here. Click on it. Here we go. Now I will add other resources to this, but most of the things that you're going to be using, right? I have the calendar there, and I will add other things. I have research day 1. I have the research timeline calendar, and here is the link to the project website. Get used to going to this website because all the information you're going to need is there, okay? You're going to want to click on that and go to it, okay? And here we are, the research project overview. You can go to the assignment. You'll see where the assignment question is, okay? And now what I want you to do first, okay, today we're doing this research day 1 activity, but I want you to set up Noodle tools. There's links to Noodle tools right here. You can just type in noodletools.com. And once we go to Noodle tools, you're going to see the project, probably your persuasive essay you did for my class. And I want you to create a new project, which is in green over here. You click new project, and let's call it final research paper. You, as always, you click MLA formatting, and you click junior, because it's junior high, middle school. Probably college would use advanced. Don't take it personally. We're going to use a relatively simplified form of MLA, and we click submit. Okay. Now, it's going to start you off by asking you, what is your research question? Well, when we go to the research project overview, the assignment at the top, they give you the question. And you want to put it in your own words, okay? Is it fair to refer to the African slave trade or the conquest of the Native American Indians as a Holocaust? You're going to pick one of those two groups unless you're going to do both groups. Or should that term be reserved exclusively to what happened to the Jewish victims of the Nazi government of Germany during World War II? Or is it fair to compare the treatment of either of these groups to the treatment of the Jewish people? So even if you wanted to copy that and put it in here, you should make it accurate for your paper. So is it fair to compare the treatment of, and then you're going to put Native American Indians or African American slaves. You pick one, and that's your question. Now, you don't really know your thesis yet. If you think you know it, you can put it. It may change. We're doing research to decide which side of the argument we fall on. So I would say for now, leave that blank. And now you're good to go. We're going to go over to note cards, okay? Now, because this project is broken up into subject areas of research, you have resistance, control, legality, and human impact. So you're going to have cards for each of these sections. So if we go back to Noodle tools, for today, we're going to start with new note card. Now I know today that I'm going to be looking up Jewish armed resistance, okay? Now, we don't have our sources entered in yet. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But let's just go ahead and create the card. You're going to put your quote that describes how Jewish people resisted the Nazis using violent or armed resistance here. You're going to put this shows here, and as a result or because of this here. But let's just click save and close for now. And then we're going to click another card, and we're going to call it Jewish unarmed resistance. Okay, again, we don't have our source in there yet, but we know that we're going to do a note card on these two things. Now, you can either leave them in a pile or you can spread them out, okay? So you're going to have Jewish armed resistance, unarmed resistance. And then you're going to make cards as you go for either slave or Indian resistance, okay? So I might say I'm doing the slave trade. I might write slave armed resistance. Or if I was doing Indians, I would put Indian armed resistance, okay? I'm going to put a slash because you're going to pick one of those two groups. Okay, there we go. So, and then I'm going to do one on unarmed resistance. So, Indian / slave unarmed resistance. Save and close. Okay, again. So now you see I have this little block. Now this is going to be for my, if you were doing both groups, you could have 6 cards. Now that's in this little area. Now when in a couple days, when I move on to the next area, which is control, you don't have to go in order, but I would do human impact last. Let's go to control. So let's go back to Noodle Tools. Now I want to make one on control. So this is how Jewish people were controlled by the Nazis, okay? But we want to break it up into physical control, okay? And then, and again, don't let them stack up like this unless you want that. There was Jewish physical control. And then we're going to do Jewish psychological, which is mental control, okay? I spelled psychological wrong, so I'll fix that, right? P-S-Y-C-H-O, logical, okay, for the sake of the video. Save and close, okay? And then we keep going, okay? We're going to do another card here on slave or Indian, slave/Indian physical control, okay? And you just keep doing this one step at a time. The old saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So today's the single step. So you make all your way through. You're going to have slave or Indian physical, slave/or Indian psychological, see that? Okay. Oh, I made the same mistake. It's PSY. Okay. Save. And then, see how we have our sections? Resistance, control. Now we move to legality. It's going to be up to you how many cards you may want to use. It depends on how many sources you use. So laws, let's call it Holocaust laws. Okay. And then for every new source, you want a new card. So if you have, let's say you do 2 different sources for armed resistance or 2 different sources for this, you would make more cards. But at the least, you're going to have this amount of cards, okay? And again, if you come in one day and you freak out and you say, Mr. Ray, I lost all my cards. Well, if you look over here at this little bird's eye view, this is for people who have many, many hundreds of cards working on doctoral dissertations. So if you just redrag this, you'll see everything is there. The tabletop is bigger than what you see, okay? And this is how we do this. Now, research day 1. You have to manually enter the source information. It's not like a database where we're just copying and pasting. So today, I gave you a website that has information on both unarmed resistance and armed resistance. Okay. So we're going to click on our link, and we're going to go to that website that I gave you. So here's our website, and you'll see where it has information here on armed resistance. And then down here, there's information on unarmed resistance, okay? And you can see it talks about they sabotage transportation links, blow up bridges, roads, railway equipment, they sabotage factories, etc. For unarmed resistance, it talks about how they provided food, receiving and transmitting news and information, operated secretly, boosted morale, operated radio posts, all of those things. So what do we do? Well, the first thing we want to do is enter the information we're going to use from this in Noodle Tools, okay? So let's say we copied something from here and we pasted it. And this is just for today what we're doing this. Going forward, we won't be using these sheets, just Noodle Tools. So today you're going to do unarmed and armed, but then you're going to move it into your node cards, okay? So, but we need to create a source. So here's our sources up here, okay? Let me get back my highlighter. Here's the sources. I'm going to click source. Now, I'm going to get my URL, which is the Uniform Resource Locator, or the web address. I click copy. I go back to Noodle Tools. I click sources. Create new citation up here. And it's a website. We're mostly using websites. Web page. Continue. Now, I know my URL is going to go right here. The web address, URL. Copy, paste. Now, date of publication. Well, a lot of times you have to look at the bottom of these. So let's go to the bottom. So there, it says 2013, 1997, 2013. You can put the most recent date. So I'll go back to Noodle Tools. And the date, and I don't have a month or a day, so I put 2013. Now, when did I access it? It means when did I look at it? And I looked at it today. You click that, it puts in today's date. Now, contributors, either editor or author. Well, I don't see one down here. I look at the top. It's usually at the top. And I don't see one up here. There is no author. So I go back to Noodle Tools. Next thing, web page or document, article title. So what's the article title? Well, the article title is resistors. So I go back here and I type in resistors. Okay. Then I keep going. What is the name of the website? If it was a newspaper, the article might be Yankees Win Again. But the newspaper title or the publication title, or in this case, the website title, is Teacher's Guide to the Holocaust, right? The article would be in Newsday, say, or the New York Times. So we're going to put Teacher's Guide to the Holocaust because there are many articles on this website. So we go here and we put Teacher's Guide to the Holocaust. Now, the publisher of the site is, think of it this way, who paid for this thing? What organization paid for this? Again, usually at the bottom. So we look on the bottom here, produced by Florida Center for Instructional Technology, College of Education, University of South Florida. If you want to shorten that to just University of South Florida, that's fine. I'm going to copy it and paste it. You can type it directly if you want. Control V, and that's it. And now I click Save, not save and add annotation, just save. Okay. Now I have the source. There it is. Now when I go back to my note cards, I'm going to take Jewish armed resistance. I'm going to put my quote in here. Okay. So let's say I have Teacher's Guide to the Holocaust and, I want to do armed resistance. So I look in here and it says, during the war, opposition parties were outlawed. Others survived. This is unarmed resistance. I want to do the right thing. So armed resistance. Let's make sure I'm doing the right information so I don't get confused. Armed resistance. They sabotage transportation links, blowing up bridges, railway. This is great. And I may use some of this or all of this, but I definitely like this. So I'm going to Control C. I'm going to go back to Noodle Tools. I'm going to paste that. I'm going to put in a quotation mark, right? And I'm going to hit Shift. Okay. That was a link in there, so I'm going to just get rid of that. Now, this shows, as a result, Jews resisted Nazis however they could in guerrilla warfare, in clandestine ways. They worked with other violent resistance groups, whatever it is. Now I choose my source information, resistors. I would also put the URL since you have it and it's so easy because as you build up cards, it becomes very easy to go back to the website. You're not sure which one it was. Control V, there it is, okay? And you click Save and Close. So you're going to do that today, and then you're going to do unarmed resistance. Edit. Okay, now I go back here. I want unarmed resistance. So I come up here, and as I read, I say, how did they do? Others survived, operated clandestinely, news information, radio listening posts. They created underground economy. You can put all this stuff, right? Control C. And then later you decide what you put in your paper. Let's put quotation marks, Control V, quotation marks, okay? Same source, because we got it from the same place. Same URL. Oop, no, I already copied something else, so it's not in there. Go back and get the URL, which is at the top of the page. Control C. Go back to Noodle Tools. And you just keep doing this for the whole paper, all right? This shows. What does it show? You write it in there. You're actually pre-writing your paper as a result or because of this, okay? You can create tags if you wanted to, but for people with hundreds of cards, that would be what you would do. So we're just going to click Save and Close, and you can see how we're going to be moving forward with this paper. Your Noodle Tools will start to look like this. And as I said, it's just one step at a time for a much more complex paper. Today, you're just going to do this sheet. Going forward, the research will be your own. After that, you'll move on to the research links page, which is here on my website. And before you know it, the project will be over. But just remember, that clock keeps ticking. Okay, good luck.